Alright, I am back with another video that is kind of doing whatever I want instead of just doing Destiny videos all the time. What are we going to talk about? An HR lawsuit? That sounds terrible. Yeah, so I wanted to talk today about Fortnite. And here we go. We are starting my Fortnite journey here. Yeah, this is live. This is me accepting the terms of the Shell Oil Island, which is where I'm visiting. That I just wrote an article about this today because it is exactly as ridiculous as it sounds. Fortnite has been in headlines lately because they just laid off 900 people, and in the wake of that, get snacks for the trip. In the wake of that, Tim Sweeney has been defiant in terms of continuing to spend on what he has been spending money on this entire time, which is lawsuits against Apple and Google. It is the Epic Game Store, which sets money on fire in his attempt to crush Steam, which is not going well. And the Metaverse, which is this nebulous concept that pretty much everyone has abandoned now in favor of AI. But Sweeney still wants to do the whole Metaverse thing, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today. As you can see, it's not going great. We are in a Shell-sponsored V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline Island that was made in conjunction with the actual oil company, because this is where things are now. Fortnite has done a number of very weird deals. I can't even go in this shop. What a terrible island. Number of weird deals over the years, but it's usually like, oh, here's this Star Wars character from this show that's coming out, or here's this fashion brand with like stylized skins. We're getting into pretty weird territory now. Shell Island, and this to me speaks to kind of a larger problem with how the Metaverse went. Of everybody, Fortnite had the biggest opportunity to actually do the Metaverse correctly. The base was definitely there. And for a little while there, I really felt that, how am I supposed to get through the portal if they put rocks in front of it? Okay. Can I? Nope. Okay. Are these all locked? You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna sit in the gas station. So there's no point. I don't care about. There's like obstacle courses and stuff in this, but whatever. I don't care. Can you hack down? No, you're not allowed to actually farm and break the gas station. Why would you be? So we'll just have Kratos do this. Okay. For a while there, it did seem like Fortnite was going to be able to pull this off to a certain extent. It had a huge audience. It exploded in popularity as a battle royale. It had all the biggest streamers, going hard on it. It had millions of views, tens of millions of players. It was raking in billions of dollars. It had, the seasons were kind of a must play. They started doing these events that were like they started as mysteries, like there's a comet in the sky or there's a giant purple cube rolling around, and it was kind of genuinely intriguing to see where the quote-unquote storyline of Fortnite was going. And that ended eventually. Like, at the current point, we are just now in, I don't think anyone really understands what the Fortnite story is. Epic has sort of abandoned it itself. And those events kind of are few and far between and are no longer the must-sees they once were. But when we got really into Metaverse territory, it was when Fortnite started doing kind of community events like actual concerts. The most infamous one, I would say, or famous one, it started with Marshmello. There was like a cool Marshmello show. Good job, Kratos. Man, you got some moves. A Marshmello show where you'd go to a concert stage and bounce around. It was very fun. And then I would say the highlights of Fortnite feeling like the actual Metaverse was the Travis Scott concert, where they had a giant Travis Scott skin performing, a pre-recorded set, stomping around the map like Godzilla, all these cool effects. And, everyone there dancing is, I don't even remember what the skins were back then, but, Cammy from Street Fighter, Batman, Superman. I don't think Kratos was out back then, Master Chief, but... all these different skins, all these Fortnite original skins, which I would say have pretty good design. And it felt like a moment like they were sort of capturing what the Metaverse was supposed to be. And when we think of the Metaverse, it's a shared virtual space where we can go and exist, go and hang out, and it's just sort of, infinite possibilities and alternate reality to the world we live in. And like many games just sort of do this at baseline. Like you could say Minecraft is a metaverse or GTA Online is a metaverse in many ways, but Fortnite felt like the kind of traditional, what everyone views as the Ready Player One metaverse, where it's this big shared space full of all these little mini games, full of big virtual events, you existing as sort of an avatar. Ready Player One obviously had a bunch of licensed characters that were walking around in that. I think they even had like Cammy and stuff, or Chun-Li and like the famous people from here, and like Bowser and like all these things. And the idea was that Fortnite could be that thing. Fortnite had the huge player base to do this. It had the licensing deals, so you could get all the fun things of like, oh, it's Batman fighting Captain America and Indiana Jones fighting Darth Vader, and like all of these things that you would dream of, and like we'd see in like a mild version of that in like Smash Brothers or something. But here it was like everything, and that was the peak. Another good entry here was Ariana Grande. That was a pretty cool concert that sort of went above and beyond the map stuff. It just sort of created this virtual event that was not, I would say it's different than the Travis Scott show, because Travis was taking over a physical area, whereas Ariana Grande kind of invented a space by itself. I truly don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with these rocks. And that, it was not quite as good, but it was still the same thing. After that, things sort of stopped. There were no more huge scale concerts like that. There were no more like really engaging, interesting events. It just didn't really pan out the same way. And all they kept doing was they just kept doing the Battle Royale, and they started doing Fortnite creative stuff. And Fortnite creative is what we're seeing here. The idea was that, okay, instead of just building the metaverse past the Battle Royale island, we are going to... Nope, still no. We are going to have players do it for us. So they gave them the, toolkit tools. Here's all the stuff you can build in Fortnite. You can make little mini games. You can make little worlds. But it became this kind of nebulous network of islands that were essentially just that. They were just little mini games and maybe little story adventures contained in Fortnite mode. But Epic never actually built the metaverse. They had the opportunity to dramatically expand just, the Battle Royale island, to try and figure out ways to up the player count, dramatically to exist in a shared space. They've essentially done nothing like that, either because they don't have the tech for that. You can't drive off the edge either. They don't have the tech for that, and or they just don't have the desire to do that. They just wanted to keep people in the Battle Royale because that was making the most money, and they just didn't really have any ambition past that. They thought just getting these IP skins and rotating Battle Royale maps every year and doing little events and things and selling Battle Passes, that was enough. And for all the hate Tim Sweeney gets... Oh, you can drive off the edge. Nope, you can't. For all the hate Tim Sweeney gets, I do fundamentally think he was right about Fortnite being the potential starting point for a real metaverse. And Epic just did not deliver on it. They totally fumbled the amazing opportunity they had as far and away the company best poised to do this. And instead, they let the metaverse concept be co-opted by Facebook, who is so into the metaverse, they renamed their entire company Meta. And that was married to this sort of VR-based vision of the metaverse where, yes, Ready Player One has VR and like a simulated version of it, so you're literally transported into that world. But the problem was VR tech is not there yet, and VR tech is also not widely adopted, as opposed to tens and tens of billions of people who are just actively playing Fortnite at a given moment. The metaverse did not need to be reliant on VR, which was the big mistake everyone else made. The second way it got co-opted was by the frickin' crypto blockchain idiots, where their metaverses were these giant empty worlds that were like 5% the quality of Fortnite, and they were just total trash. They were about selling scammy parcels of virtual real estate to, again, stupid companies that thought that they were getting in on the ground floor of something. And these places had anywhere from like 0 to 500 concurrent players at any given time. Like they were total jokes, and they got a lot of news stories because no one did any actual research into how desperately unpopular these were. So none of the metaverses worked out at all. Fortnite fumbled, all these other ones collapsed. Now everyone's doing AI stuff, and the idea of the metaverse has been put on ice. Like even the word metaverse now just sounds extraordinarily stupid. And I blame most of this on Epic for failing to develop this in any meaningful way. And in Ready Player One, there is the main bad guy who desperately wants to monetize the metaverse in a way the original creator never intended. And the main problem with all the metaverse stuff was that they wanted to start from that point at baseline. They wanted to get, it was the brands who wanted to get in at the ground floor. And everyone was so concerned about doing these brand deals for metaverse parcels of land and metaverse creative islands and things like that, that, they sort of forgot to create an actual space that people wanted to occupy. And so part of this, I think, is just a lack of vision. Epic was content doing what it always does, which was making battle royale stuff, and then they thought that handing things over to creative would be enough to, get the metaverse going in that sense, where, the metaverse is so big, we just need it to be created at scale by our users. And that worked for creating much little mini games, but that essentially did not differentiate this from something like Roblox at all. Like Roblox with mainly better graphics. That was essentially it. And they didn't push anything beyond that. They spent all of their money on these lawsuits, on the Epic Game Store, and when they could have been devoting those resources toward literally actually building the metaverse. And when this talk first started, and before Tim Sweeney kind of went completely off his rocker, like, I believed this vision could happen. In that Travis Scott show, I felt a moment where it seemed like this could in fact become reality, and Epic was the place to do it. Now, I really have no idea if this is ever going to happen in any meaningful capacity. It no longer seems like pretty much anyone is interested in doing this. Everyone, people may still make MMOs or sandbox games where people can mess around in them, but the actual metaverse, all the proponents, Facebook is pivoting away from that, and it's Horizon World's nightmarish thing, and like they're moving to like holographic video calls and AI learning, whatever. The crypto blockchain metaverse thing is just collapsed. It just really effectively doesn't even exist anymore. And Epic, though claiming they still want to pursue a metaverse like vision for creators, or whatever Sweeney's phrasing was, it's very clear they don't actually know how to get there. They don't know how to get to the metaverse that people may actually want. I know everyone hates the metaverse word right now, but I think there was a way to make a virtual shared space engaging and somewhere where people would want to, visit and hang out that isn't just like one specific game. We already have that where people want to spend time with their friends in specific games and stuff, but there was an opportunity to make this bigger, to do bunches of fun crossovers and have this virtual world that, IPs at baseline are not like inherently evil to put in your game. And it is kind of cool to have, Kratos hanging out with Spider-Man and Ryu and stuff. But now it's just, Fortnite has just become like a brand marketing agency, essentially. Like all of its deals no longer feel like they're in pursuit of like some fun, metaverse where, all these different action figures get to play together. It's stupid bullshit like this. And this is not the only thing, but this is probably the worst example I've seen. And now that Donald Mustard, the former head of Fortnite, has left Fortnite completely, I think this is only going to get worse. I think they are going to desperately try to squeeze more money out of Fortnite. They will probably cut creator pay, and they will almost certainly be doing more increasingly absurd brand deals like this one. I joked in my article, like a Lockheed Martin map where you're flying a jet around, or a Pfizer map where you're collecting Zoloft pills to increase your shields or something. But it bums me out because I really have been, years ago at least, a proponent of the metaverse in terms of something like that existing. I do think that someday we will get there. It's just the concept has been severely damaged by what's been going on the past few years. And if the metaverse was going to exist in some capacity, this has lost at least a decade of time, just based on how poorly this has gone. Fortnite itself, I think it will continue to exist. I do not think it will innovate in any truly meaningful way. That much seems clear by now, especially with Donald Mustard gone. If Sweeney is in charge of all of this now, it's going to be a futile exercise. So that is my extended Metaverse Fortnite rant here. go check out the Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline Island. The code is in my article, and if you can figure out how to actually get through these portals, let me know. So, wait, is this it? Nope. Still can't figure it out. Okay. I also haven't played Fortnite in like 8 months. But anyway, thanks for indulging me in yet another random video, and I will talk to you later. Take care.